Good evening, everyone. Thank you all again so much for tuning in. This is the Real Deal Fam. I am Andre, and this is my beautiful wife, Essie.
Bad mama.
Yeah, she is.
Home with the kids all day.
Oh, thank y'all so much for tuning in again. We really appreciate all the support we've been getting. If you hadn't had opportunity yet, please hit that subscribe button. We're on a subscribe campaign.
Yes,
if you will.
A mission. If you like our work and you've been watching our videos, which clearly you do because we see you watching them, not see you, but we can see you in the atmosphere. And you like our videos, just go ahead and subscribe and support us.
It only take 1 second. Just press the button. It's free. It's no charge. All it does is it let you know when we put a video out. It just pops up in your normal feed.
Yeah, it just encourages us to continue on.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Today we like to talk about, I guess, being home with the kids since the COVID-19 pandemic has jumped out, which is the coronavirus. There's been a lot of school closures. Also, a lot of businesses have been shut down. If not shut down, they've been limited in their terms of what they normally do. But so that leaves a lot of parents home as well. But the kids are out of school, so if you don't have daycare, you home with the kids.
Yeah, I mean, we're blessed to just have that issue currently at the moment that, they riding the last nerve. But, to make light of a serious situation, that's a big issue, whether you're still working and the kids are out of school, or whether you're home, working from home, and you got kids running around screaming in the background. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you still got to support your family. You got to get out there and go to work. With the kids being home, that's challenging for a lot of people.
For the rest of the year here where we're at, they just announced that they're trying to do the online. The kids already got promoted. They passed already, but they wanted to get online and do some extra activity. I don't know what it is. Just
some parents are older, a little bit old school. Even if they're not, everybody's not computer literate or they don't have access to the internet. So that's a challenge in and of
kids
itself.
Can get on and do it. They said it's gonna be available with your cell phone. So we'll see how that works. Throwing something together last minute for a school board is kind of, they always have quirks.
The problem is when you put the kids on the computer, I'm sure most parents can attest to this, they send the wind up on some other website.
Gaming site. You got to monitor them doing their work on the computer.
Yeah.
That's a job itself.
Yeah, because you look down at the little bottom of the screen, you'll see 3 or 4 pages open.
All these tabs open. As soon as you walk off, they're on the game.
Yeah, so that's a challenge.
We went out and got some school books and some things that they could be doing that I don't have to be standing over them and they have an actual paper or book to turn in. We can go over the answers because that computer stuff is great for a little while, but these kids are slick. They try to slick Rick. They don't know we already done been there and tried that.
Yeah.
Nothing new under the sun.
They are pretty savvy when it comes to that. Like my wife said, you get the books. They can do it manually like we used to.
That's the old school method. Is the best way. Get some paper and a book and write down and keep practicing and going over the work, especially math and science,
Right. So some people learn better like that. Some people are more visual, some are more audible, some are more kinetic. And that's what the actual hard book does. It's a more kinetic form of learning. They actually moving around and writing it and stuff, so that's good. And my wife is an educator, so that's a blessing. But every parent is not. It's like I say, some people probably been out of school a while, and they don't really deal with that. They just prefer to send their kids to school. Some parents, the transition's been very easy. They've been homeschooling already, so it hadn't really affected them in any form or fashion. But it's challenging. And right now, it's only been, maybe a week or two. The kids were already on spring break. So this is just the week that they should have returned back to school.
They had an extended week, so yeah. Our family, we just do whatever the child needs. So, we have an older teenager who's almost grown, and throughout his life, we've homeschooled, and on and off depending on the needs. And so all of our kids have been like that, depending on the need, whether they needed safety nets or whether they needed more, just more one-on-one throughout that year or whatever. Then we would homeschool that year or not. And so now they're all home. And for at one time, man, yeah, so we're gonna have to come up with a serious schedule. That's the key.
I told her today, I say, we got to get them a little bit more organized, because when you got them all home, everything's chaotic. They're all moving around different places. And also, that's a lot of meal preparation. So you got...
Oh, my gosh. All of that food that you bought thinking you're going to store up some stuff and have just in case or emergency, they going through it like nobody's business.
Yeah, so having the kids at home can definitely increase your expenses, because they're eating a lot. They're using a lot more utilities most of the time. If the parents are working, nobody's home, so there's no utilities being used. And now it's putting a strain on everything.
Stress on all your toilet flushing constantly, shower running, door opening, AC blowing. Yeah, it's just like the summertime. So,
yeah. And family ain't trying to do no babysitting right now. So, every man for himself right this time.
You can't even have grandma and grandpa watch them because they're susceptible to the kids' germs.
Right.
So,
and like I say, this their second week being out of school. If your kids do go around grandparents, I guess like they say, you want to have them quarantined for about 14 days. So make sure they're not sick going around the grandparents. But also travel is limited in some places. Like my wife said in the other video, in Puerto Rico, they have a curfew. So people not driving around as much. Right now would be ideal time if it wasn't this particular thing, but they had the kids out of school. With gas being cheap, I'm sure people would have been more out there traveling around now.
Yeah, our key to surviving mentally is to make sure the children go outside. Get some of that energy off, And so I think probably, what's today? Yeah, so I'll probably go ahead and start them next week on their workbooks and different things like that. That always uses up energy. And pork and beans. Get them on that old stuff we grew up on.
Solid
Eating up all them snacks. You gotta eat some pork and beans. And what else did we have with growing up as a kid? That old stuff that fills you up.
Well, you had hot dogs, bologna, ham, all that, the stuff that was pretty inexpensive, and you had lots of it. So, but like I said before, we didn't have a situation like this where everybody was stuck in the house for a prolonged period.
Oh my goodness.
Now, what the school system is offering for people who want to take advantage of that, kids can go to any school in the district and pick up a lunch. They only offering it outside. You can't go in the cafeteria. They have the lunch available outside. Drive by
and pick up.
Yeah. So
just in case if you need a little assistance, then some schools are offering that. So that's a relief.
Yes, and it does give you a chance to get out the house if you'd like to do that as well. But if you got sons, they need to go outside and participate in some kind of outdoor activity.
Make them cut the grass.
Yeah, stuff like that. But keep them busy.
Rake up some leaves.
Definitely. There's always yard work to be doing, especially right now, springtime coming in. So you can do a little painting. There's a lot of different little projects.
Dig a hole and then have them fill it in. That always uses energy.
Yeah. But
it's just anything to make them use up all that energy so they don't tear up your house.
That's it. But you definitely want to have them structured. Like my wife say, give them some books and stuff. Make sure they doing their schoolwork. Don't let them just sit around and coast.
Less computer, less tablet, the better. That stuff messes with the mind.
Yes, you don't want them like little zombies, because they would literally watch TV all day. That cell phone, they love it. that type of thing, and they'll just veg out. So,
oh my gosh, they're addicted to the cell phone. When you take it, it's like the life is over.
yeah.
You know, they just do, the phone is just addictive.
I thought it was our kids only, but when I was out and about and I seen other parents dealing with teenagers and kids that was in high school, I mean, they're having a hard time.
Yeah,
with
they
these
get
kids
turned up if you take the cell phone. That's like their only connection to reality is the cell phone. I'm like, man, you living not in the Matrix, bro. This is real life, okay? It's your parents that ain't going down. Give me that phone.
Yes, and right now it's even though it seems kind of lighthearted, it is a very serious time. People are sick out there. I don't think it's as bad as they say. If you
Hopefully not, but you never know. So we're just
well, if you protect yourself, be cautious about things. You want to stay from large crowds and stuff like that. You and the kids just kind of stay quarantined to yourself.
Yeah, if you have to go anywhere and take the kids, try to get there early as possible. That's my trick. Like if we have to go to the grocery stores and stuff while they're still open, we just get up early and go before the crowds get there, and then that way, you know, help protect yourself. And then as soon as they get back in the house, they'll wash up. And if we were out long, you know, for a good little bit, they'll have them just take a shower or whatnot if we're in for the rest of the day. So that's our little tricks and stuff. Keep them busy, keep them active, you know, get that energy out, you know, around your house and different things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everybody brushing up on their skills. All the parents are brushing up on their parenting skills because you're around them quite a bit now.
Yeah, what that quote say? Now the parents know it wasn't the teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. Now
it's
you
your
get
kid.
A little taste of your own medicine.
Your own genes.
Yes. But like we say, it's a good time for family. If y'all sit down and share some things, stuff you don't, like my wife said, you don't have to be on the computer every 5 minutes, or the parents don't have to shut themselves in the room, but sit around and share stories and educate the kids in the fashion of just basic living in life.
Yeah, that's a good idea, honey. That's one thing that you don't hear the you know, the other generations, they did, but I guess we've gotten away from that. Tell stories and pass down your family history and generations. And that's the other thing. Williams family, coming up soon, we'll be going through some good things that we found and discovered with our history and genealogy. So stay tuned for that. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Like they used to do in the old days, it was called oral history. You just passed it down from one generation to the next.
Right. That was the way that we were allowed to pass down stories and traditions and stuff. You had to tell it orally. So y'all used to sit around a fire with your grandparents and your parents, and they would tell the stories over and over. And starting when you were a little kid, you know, a little thing. And so you would always hear the stories growing up as you got older. So then you wouldn't, you would know them, and then you would tell them to your grandkids and kids and stuff. So gotta get back to that. You don't even know about your family and stuff like that because nobody has time to be sitting around talking. Around a campfire, you know.
Yeah, because sometimes you take your kids, they've been so disconnected, their head and buried in that computer and that cell phone. You take them around family, they be like, "Who is that?"
Yeah, like you've seen them a gazillion times. You know who that is.
Yeah, that's family. So this is a good time that y'all can sit around, perhaps pull out the old photo album or anything like that, and share some stories and memories with them. I think the kids will enjoy that, and we just gonna pass through this time, and definitely get in your word, read some word with them, get them right. We got to get the generation back on track.
Yep, be blessed.
That's it, and. We thank y'all again so much for tuning in, and just share this time with your family and use it wisely. And like we said, if you haven't had an opportunity to subscribe yet, we would love if you go ahead and press that button now and join us as a subscriber. We would highly appreciate it. And also, if you have any comments, please leave them below. Share with us anything that you may have, any ideas, anything like that. We would highly appreciate it.
How many nerves do we have?
Nerves.
I just want to know because, you know, the kids get on my last one. I need to tell them. How many do I have? My last nerve.
Yeah. I hope not, because right now they ain't got no nerve pills. They really low. But thank y'all so much. We enjoyed you. Good night.
Good night.